Leanna with Tippy.com, and today I'm going to show you the Smurfs Village on the iPad. The Smurfs Village is a time management game similar to Farmville or We Rule, We Farm, We City. And they actually recently came out with an update. So this new update includes the biggest thing that is noticeable is all the snow. Normally the ground is green, but now the ground is white to, you know, since it's winter time. Okay, so right here we can see I have some peas that are ready to harvest. So I just tap on them and collect my money. And now I can plant something if I want. So I tap a spot, and here's the list of all the different things I can plant. The only thing I can't is this one because I don't have a Thanksgiving statue. More on that later. Everything else, though, I'm at a high enough level where I can plant whatever I want. So I'm going to go ahead and plant, I don't know, I'll plant some Brussels sprouts, and I'll do the rest of my crops later when I'm done with this. When you first start this game, all you have is the center area between the two rivers, and as you progress through the game, I was able to build a bridge here, and then later a bridge here. It looks like my pumpkins are also ready to harvest, so I'll go ahead and tap through those. One thing that I really like about Smurfs Village versus, say, Farmville or We Rule is that there's actually a storyline. It's, you know, it's the story of the Smurfs. You've got Gargamel, the evil Smurf, and he's trying to, you know, take over, and he's looking for the village, basically, in this. So, as you play this game and you level, there's a storyline that you get to follow, which makes it much more fun, and you always have quests. So, I'm trying to find my little guy who gives me quests. I'm sorry about that, I don't see him. Where is he? He's Papa Smurf. Here he is. He has an exclamation point over his head. And right now, my quest is to bake a strawberry cake. And when I do, I'll get 250 XP. Also new to the update is after this quest, I'll immediately be given another quest. Whereas before, you only got a quest with each level increase, but now there's more quests, which helps you level faster and make more money and just make the game more interesting. The other thing that I really like about Smurfs Village is that there are mini games. So the mini game that doesn't cost anything extra is going to be this one. Potion mixing game. I'm not going to play it because I don't want to waste time on the review doing something that you can do yourself for free. But to play this game, it's a free game. However, there are options to buy things with Smurf berries. And many of those things you can buy include a mini game. For example, this one is a painting game. What's also really cool about it is I can, with this, and as you progress, you get new paints. I can change the color of stuff using this. So let's say I want to change something to blue. I tap the color and I can tap my fence, for instance, and it changes blue. I can tap this and it changes. So that's pretty neat, just to add some customization to your village. And let's go ahead and see what the game is. So yes, we want to play. I'm not going to do a whole one, but let's just pick one just to kind of get started to show you what it's like. So the idea here is I want to paint this with these tools. I have a big paintbrush, a little paintbrush, and an eraser sponge thing, and these are my colors. So to paint the top, I'm going to need yellow, and you just use your finger to paint. I'm at a weird position right now, so I'm not going to be able to do it good. But you get the idea. And this is your time. That's how much time you have to make it look as close to this as possible. If you have a stylus, like a pogo sketch or something, I recommend using it because it makes it a lot easier for some of the harder ones. So that's an easy one to do. He said I did a bad job because I did, so I'm not done with it. The one thing about these mini games is you get to only do it ever so often. So like you saw, one of my quests was to bake a cake. That's referring to this game here. But I have 6 hours and 8 minutes remaining before I can officially play the game. However, I can practice. So I'll go ahead and show you what this game is like. We'll do the easy one, cookies. You tap the oven and you are baking cookies. And when they're ready, they will start to get smoke. There you go. So those ones are done. They're considered Smurfy. If I tap one like this, it's pour. If I tap one when it's looks like it's done, but there's no smoke, oh, it's only good. Like that. Okay. So it's okay. So the idea is to do as many as you can and not let any of your cookies go bad. This is an easy level. Some of the harder ones involve more ovens. So just to show you real quick, if I do the hardest one over here, cherry cakes, I have all of these ovens I have to keep track of. Once my time is ready to officially play, I'll be able to make those strawberry cakes for my quest. Another game that was just recently added is this fishing game. And this is how this game works. This is Sleepy Smurf, I believe is his name. So I'm going to tap somewhere on the lake to cast my lure. And Sleepy Smurf is going to end up falling asleep. And then I got a bite. So now I tap him to wake him up and pull. And now I have to follow the fish with the arrows in order to catch it. Right now it's really easy. Wow. Oftentimes it can be kind of hard. The fish will start moving like crazy. And you get 5 casts before your game is over. Sometimes you catch, like you saw, a boot. Sometimes you catch a plant. And of course, sometimes you catch a fish. Okay. Let's see, is there any other mini games? I don't think so. Another thing you can buy with Smurf berries is this. It's the Farmer Smurfin' House. The crops, and this is actually one of my gripes in the game, is I can't move this window, so I can't see everything that's highlighted. But the idea is all the crops that are next to this house, I'm going to make more money off of. So it should be all of these, I think. Again, I can't look at it, one of my gripes of the game. The other gripe would also be is, let's say I wanted to paint some of that stuff over there. So I select my paint, and I want to paint my houses that are over here. I can't, because I can't get to them because this window is in the way. Very annoying. One thing that I also really enjoy about Smurfs Village versus the other time management games is that you have to do things based on how many Smurfs that you have. So up here it says I have 38 Smurfs and 21 of them available. That means there are only 21 things I can do. Sometimes I get a quest where you have to send a Smurf out to go look for stuff, in which case that's a Smurf or 2 that are unavailable to me. So I may have 38 crop spots, but if I'm using a Smurf to build something or using a Smurf to send out on a quest or do various things, I cannot use them then to plant crops. I only can do as many things as I have Smurfs. So I like that idea. And so the way you get Smurfs is by building these cottages. And with each cottage comes a Smurf. And then the cottage is upgradable. I'll actually upgrade one of mine right now. So if you can see, these cottages have the little like rock walkway going up to them. Those ones have already been upgraded. These 2 have not. So this one is going to cost me 4,000 coins to upgrade. There's a bunch of different cottages that you can build. So the cheaper ones take longer to build, and the more expensive ones take a shorter amount of time to build. This was an expensive one that I built, and as a consequence, it's also more expensive to upgrade. So it's a pretty expensive upgrade. Keep that in mind when you're thinking about which cottage you want to buy. So this is going to cost me 4,000 coins. And now I have 39 Smurfs available. I just got a new Smurf for upgrading. And I also only have 728 coins left. And if I wanted to upgrade again, I could. But now it's going to cost me Smurf berries. It's going to cost me 4 Smurf berries to upgrade this again. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of this stuff. Here's the Smurf berries. So, baby Smurf, he's a little baby, is wandering around, and every once in a while, just like with Smurfette, he's crawling, and then you can tap him, and he goes back to sleep, and you get experience. Here's the fishing, Hefty Smurf we talked about that one. Smurfette, painting. You can buy extra Smurfs for 5 Smurf berries. So if you don't want to build a new cottage, you can buy a Smurf. Here is the Thanksgiving statue. So this Thanksgiving statue, if I were to purchase it for 15 Smurf berries, would unlock that one crop that I couldn't plant. It would also unlock various items that is not available unless you have this statue. And then, of course, you can buy coins with Smurf berries. The most expensive being this one. For 250 Smurf berries, you get 40,000 coins. There's this little snail. I think he's next on my list. You can pet him for extra XP. You can draw water from a well for extra XP. And then there's this caterpillar guy you can pet for extra XP. So those are just the fun little things. Again, you do not need these to enjoy the game. If you are going to spend Smurf berries, I recommend spending them on things that are mini games, because that adds to more enjoyment to the game than say Smurfette. You're better off buying the fishing than you are buying Smurfette, just because it's more fun. You do get a Smurf berry for each level, so you do eventually get enough Smurf berries to buy stuff, just not enough to buy everything. And you can also use Smurf berries to speed up the process of things. So, for instance, I have my crops over here. I can use one Smurf berry and they'll instantly be done. I've never used my Smurf berries in that way. I personally think it's a waste of money, but to each his own. Okay. One of my biggest gripes about this is if you are somebody who, when you play these games, you like to change the layout of your farm or your village in this case as often as, a lot. Smurfs Village is a pain in the butt to reorganize, because let's go ahead and get into redesign mode. So let's say I just wanted to shift this whole row of fencing down a little bit, or I want to move my house over a little bit. If I touch this, I can't even press OK to put it back. So if I even accidentally tap something, I have to move it and then move it back. So I can't move it here because it's overlapping with the fence. But the problem is that's the fence I'm moving, so it's really not overlapping with it. It's extremely frustrating. So if I want to move it, I have to move it over here and then move it again. And now I can put it there. Again, if I want to move it back, I can't. I have to move it out into an open space and then back. This gets really difficult sometimes when you don't have that much space. I mean, I don't have that much space to move things to. So if I wanted to move something large, like this thing is pretty large, I have to find an empty space somewhere if I accidentally touched it. I can't just put it back. Can't place object. So frustrating. I can't just shift it. Now I'm on the hunt for an empty spot so that, there we go. I have an empty spot over there. Now I can take it and move it back. Very annoying. I recently just redesigned my look and it took me forever because I'm just trying to find places to put things while I am redesigning. I just have to move it before I can really move it where I want it. So it's very annoying. The other thing that is extremely annoying about it is, okay, so sometimes I can find an open space. It solves the problem. It's doable. I can work around it. But not with all bridges. With this bridge I can, which is why I'm going to do it. But the other bridge you cannot. So this bridge can only go in a few spots. I can put it there. I can put it over here. So this one is okay if I accidentally touch. But if and I got to be careful with how I scroll so I don't accidentally touch anything. This bridge, I cannot put it anywhere else. Maybe there's a spot over here I can put it, but based on where all my other stuff is placed, I cannot put it anywhere else. So if I'm trying to move, say, my road and I accidentally touch the bridge, I have to exit the game, go into my, running applications and close it out and relaunch the game. That's the only fix. I cannot place it anywhere, and I'm completely helpless. It's very annoying. But one thing that is neat about this redesign mode is I can tap this and only have access to my roads. So I can easily move my roads around without moving other stuff. That's convenient. But everything else about redesign mode, and then look, I just tapped the OK and now I have to move this cottage. This has happened to me a million times yesterday. I was so irritated. So let's move it into an open space and then move it back. Annoying, right? Okay. So, and then that's how you exit redesign mode. That's all I've got. This has been Smurfs Village on the iPad, and I am Leanna with Tipby.com. Thank you.